Today's my mom's birthday, so we spent the day at Disneyland Paris, and we started in Hollywood Studios, which is really similar to California Adventure, and they even have the regular Tower of Terror.
They have the doll on the couch. Do you remember the doll?
I'm a huge fan of the Tower of Terror, so this was really huge for me to be able to ride the original again, because the one in California is now Guardians of the Galaxy. And I feel like the ride was actually longer than the one in California, but next we went to the Avengers campus to ride the Flight Force, which is specific to Disneyland Paris. And what was funny was Captain Marvel spoke in English, but Iron Man spoke in French, and that's how they delivered the lines.
Tony Shark. Tony Shark.
Tony Shark.
But the ride was amazing, and then we went on the Peter Parker Spider-Man web slinger thing, and I beat everyone by about 100,000 points. And then after that, we got a little bit of a snack because we were hungry, so I got this like apple pastry thing. And they're actually opening a Tangled ride in March, so I'm sad that it wasn't open when we got to go. And also the Ratatouille ride was closed, which I was also sad about because it's the one that the Epcot is based after. But they also had a Toy Story Land. We went on this ride right here, and it was pretty fun, but it was also raining a little bit at that point, and it was freezing cold. And then we went on the Cars ride, which was kind of like the Terror Tram at Halloween Horror Nights.
Ka-chow! The Route 66!
Oh no! Oh no!
There was a warning you could get wet, but it was really cold, so I was dreading it. And then for lunch, I got lemonade for the first time. Roman got this milkshake, which was really good. And then I just had a burger. And then after that, we went to the actual Disneyland park, which the entrance was beautiful.
No, you said they're called the Uncrustables.
That was my mom and I not being able to remember The Incredibles, and Roman had to tell us. But this was the inside of the park. It was done up for Christmas, but only on the main street, so these were about the only Christmas decorations that you'd see, so take it in now. And the castle, of course, but what I was really here for was this ride. I am so obsessed with this ride. So this is the Phantom Manor, or their version of the Haunted Mansion.
On her wedding portrait. I'm such a fucking nerd. Holy shit.
This is one of only 2 Haunted Mansion rides with actual lore, and in the line for the ride, I explained all of it to my mom and Roman against their will. Anyways, another thing I nerded out about, the soundtrack to Indiana Jones is playing.
Do you remember this from the set? Yes, exactly. Uh-huh.
Roman and I were really obsessed with the Temple of Doom when we were kids. That was like the one Indiana Jones movie we'd watch all the time, so that was really funny. And then this was the outside of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. It was like a fortress, which was so cool, and the ride queue was also amazing. But there were people trying to cut us in line, and we were like getting more annoyed as it went on. But the ride was great, and then the teacups, and then they were doing their Christmas parade. We were on a Small World during the parade, and that was cute. This is the America section of the Small World ride, and it was the longest section, which was funny because we were in France. But I need to talk about how several of the rides were much better than the Disneyland counterparts. Like, both the Haunted Mansion and Thunder Mountain were way better than Disneyland California. And I've never been to Disney World, so I can't comment on that. But underneath the castle is a dragon.
On the flash.
I was super impressed with the dragon animatronic, but there's the castle at night, and they kept a lot of the ride themes the same as they were in the 90s, except they made Space Mountain Hyperspace Mountain and also Star Wars themed, and that ride was also so much better than the Space Mountain in Disneyland. Like, holy crap, these rides were amazing. I need to go back. And then we left the park to go get a bite to eat at Rainforest Cafe, and Jeff ended up going back to the room, so it was just my mom and I celebrating her birthday dinner at Rainforest Cafe. I got fish and chips, and they had ranch. You'll see me zoom in on the ranch because I was super excited. And their mayo bottle was closed and I was shaking and I was like, nothing's coming out. So then I had to open it. And then after that, we just went back to bed. Then we started the next morning by checking out of the hotel and eating our breakfast buffet there, but it was so bad.
It's like mashed potatoes.
My mom was pissed because it was also pretty expensive. And then we had to brave the Paris transport one more time, and we had so many bags that it was such a nightmare. But eventually we did make it to the Airbnb. It was right across from a movie theater, and eventually we would see large crowds lining up to watch Zootopia 2. But this was the Airbnb. It had 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and then the living room, kitchen. But inside the bedroom was the shower, and then the toilet was its own separate room down the hall, which I thought was funny. But then we were out in Paris one more time. This is a Christmas market we saw, which we explored later, you'll see. But we wanted to see Notre Dame, and we also wanted to visit Saint-Chapelle, but it was closed. We got there a little too late for that. But the bells were ringing at Notre Dame. And they also rang for like 15 minutes straight. But we also missed the cutoff time to go inside, so we didn't get to go inside either of those buildings. And then as we were walking around, we were just looking for any spot to eat, and we stopped inside this random restaurant, and I got a Sex on the Beach for the first time, which is my Dutch Bros order. It tasted nothing alike, but it was really good. I really enjoyed the drink, and I got spaghetti again. I feel like if you took a shot every time I had spaghetti on this trip, you would be taking many shots. We doubled back to the Christmas market that we saw earlier, and it was cute, but it was mostly just food, not many trinkets. And then we took an Uber home, and in order to avoid a light because traffic was at a standstill, our Uber driver drove onto the sidewalk to get to the next street. It nearly ran people over, but they had every right to be there because it was the sidewalk. And then after that, we just went to bed.